Well, I feel it's a bit too late, but never, better late than never. A lot of us in opposition, we've always advised our government as a matter of patriotism. But they dismiss opposition as irritants, busybodies, charlatans, and now the chicken has come home to roost. So I wrote my piece, I think 2 nights ago. As always, I try to make interventions from now, every now and then, if I have the opportunity. And my position is that it is not enough saying we want to appoint ambassadors. What government needs to do is to rally its best brains. Nigeria is overblessed with some of the most brilliant human beings on this planet. And a lot of Nigerians are very exposed and they have privileges all over the world that they enjoy. They have contacts, they have their networks. So my advice to the president is don't make it politics as usual. Reach out to those people, whether they are in your party or not. And I mentioned some names, if you read my piece, which was not a partisan list. The people they should reach out to, men of timber and caliber. Because when you speak at the international level, when you speak, your message is not enough. Your message will resonate if the messenger is appropriate. A lot of the cronies that I see around the president are people who do not have that kind of credibility. Some of them will push themselves again at the president and say, oh yes, we can go to Washington, we can go to London, we can go to Paris, we can go to Russia, we can go everywhere. And we'll be able to know the president must go on out and deliver a team A for Nigeria. If he does not do that, we're wasting time. And then the videos of President Trump that I've watched, it is beyond just the usual let's talk. I think he's convinced about the documents that have already been presented to him. He's convinced that the Nigerian government is not serious. He's convinced that we're not ready. And he's convinced that we will try to buy time and then return to our usual hanky-panky. So that is why I wrote that thing. And I hope the president will see it and see it in good faith and act on it.
Well, Chief, some of the names you have mentioned, I was trying to take a look at that list to see if your name is there, but...
Never. I said it clearly that I'm not interested in anything. No, anybody who knows me knows that that's not my kind of thing.
You have the capacity. You're a veteran journalist. I think you should be open to working with this current administration.
No. People will get a wrong signal. Once I bring myself into it, I'm not interested. And I'm saying it with all emphasis that I am not interested. I do other things for my country behind the scenes, globally. With my own funding. I don't go to government. I don't beg for things from government. I love my country passionately. That is why I can resist the temptation of being in government where people think, oh yes, you can become a billionaire overnight. I am not interested.
Yes, Chief. Let's take the words of former U.S. President John F. Kennedy. He has been quoted as saying that never negotiate under pressure. And those words I always hold dear to my heart. I imagine that Mr. President would be under a lot of pressure. How do you advise that he gets to handle this pressure, especially the fact that he is faced by strong power blocks, the US on one hand, and there's China, who has sort of been funding some of our infrastructure projects in very recent times, Chief?
That is why he needs Team A with him. In the days of tribulations, you run to the elders of the house. I can tell you for free that number one on that list of people he must reach out to will be former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who after Nelson Mandela, I believe is the greatest African statesman. You have Chief Emeka Yaku, who was Commonwealth Secretary General so many years ago, and God has preserved his life for us. So on an occasion such as this, they need to reach out. They need to reach out to powerful Christian groups. And there is a name that will come up. Lieutenant General Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma. These are very, very wealthy Christians and who have a voice, who can speak globally, and they will listen to them. You see, because they are bringing these things from the religious angle. Yes, it's very convenient for us to say, oh, Muslims are being killed, Christians are being killed, but must Nigerians be killed at all? Nigerians are being killed. In Nigeria today, we are indifferent. Even if they announce, oh, 1,000 people killed in Benue, life continues as usual. In Plateau, life continues as usual. In Taraba, in Adamawa, and so on and so forth. So, the president needs to get people who have the capacity to speak and will be listened to, not all these political jobbers. That's why I said the president is very good at politicking. Oh, he can get all governors in Nigeria today to join APC. But we have passed that stage now. 2 weeks ago, if anybody told you that President Tinubu will be in this precarious situation, oh, you would have said, no, it's not possible. But I saw him speaking last night, and I must confess, I felt for him, because this is not the best of times to be the president of Nigeria. He now has to put on the thinking cap for himself, for his team, and for all of us in Nigeria.
Well, Chief, I share your sentiments. These are indeed very interesting times for Nigeria and Mr. President as well. But you are in the opposition, and there are those who are in government who are pointing fingers to the opposition being behind some of these claims and perhaps facilitating or feeding the likes of the U.S. And the Trump administration with information. So I wonder how you respond to that, because I imagine that the ADC, which is the party that you now fly their colors, would be happy that all of this is playing out barely 2 years to an election. Isn't that correct?
Look, my brother, anyone who says opposition is behind this, it's just being clever by half. How can opposition that is trying to put its acts together now have time to go to Washington? Those who did it have come out openly. They've come out. I read yesterday about a bishop from Benue, and I've spoken to some high-level contacts who confirmed there is a powerful Christian lobby group from Nigeria that reached out to Washington. So anyone blaming opposition, of course, everything in Nigeria, when it is not, is APC not blaming its own immediate predecessor, a man who has gone to join his ancestors, former President Muhammadu Buhari? They are blaming him for abandoning a useless country on them, a very terrible economy to them. There will always be blame games in politics. But this is the time for the president to ignore all those people who they are rabble-rousers, they just go around trying to terrorize the opposition. But now they are being terrorized from America. So that's the way of God. The person you cannot catch, there is someone who will catch him for you. That is why, go and read comments. Even under what I wrote, go and read comments. Everybody is begging America, please come to Nigeria. It's only patriots who are now fighting that, no, this is beyond ruling party or opposition party fracas. It is about our country and the future of our nation. So, let's stop playing politics and let us face President Donald Trump and bring out the facts. Too many Nigerians have died. And the Christians who believe they are in the minority and they are being wiped out, they are the ones who came together. You know, if you know of a man called Israel Buba in Jos, I've been to his church before. He has screamed himself hoarse on this matter. That Christians are being targeted, are being wiped out. He never said Muslims too are not being killed. But must Nigerian lives become so useless, so valueless, that even when the 700 people have died, the president can travel tonight? No empathy, no sympathy. That is what opposition talks about. And it has nothing to do with politics. So let's get serious for once. So it's now that's reached the stage now where we're now becoming almost like Gaza, like Iran, like Lebanon and all those places where there have been such, attacks in the past. I pray that this cup will pass over us, like we read in the Bible. Let this cup pass over us. Because once this thing starts, the end is never good.
Yeah. So, Chief Momodu, let's begin to piggyback on some of the things that have happened in the last 24 hours. We've seen the U.S. Congress sanction 12 Nigerian governors. We've seen sanctions imposed on organizations like Amiyeti Allah and Counter Hori over what the U.S. terms complicity in the alleged killing of Christians. Senator Ted Cruz himself on his verified Twitter handle has vowed to expose Nigerian government officials who are complicit in the alleged Christian genocide taking place in Nigeria. Just moments ago, our guests, reflected on the proposal of the U.S. military on the deployment of troops to Nigeria and said if the U.S. is saying that they will deploy aircraft to those camps, to raid those camps, that means that they indeed know where the terrorists are. Why hasn't the Nigerian government over the years demonstrated this level of commitment to ending the killings in Nigeria? And how are you seeing the actions that have been happening in the last 24 hours following the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern?
Starting with the sanctions, maybe for once our political leaders will get sober and less giddy. All the gra-gra, they are too arrogant. They speak with the authority of God. They speak down on their people. They belch all kinds of nonsense on their people as if they are God. So maybe for once they will begin to see reason. President Tinubu knows. Look at the number of people who have died in Borno, the people who have died in Niger. I hear even Kwara, next door to your state, is no longer safe. And yet nothing has happened. So they know where these people are. Did we not see some people, a video recently of bandits with their guns on motorbikes going to attend a wedding somewhere? I don't know, maybe it was Katsina or wherever. I've never seen such embarrassment in my life. Bandits with AK-47 on motorbike, well dressed, and going to jollificate at a wedding. And they came in, enjoyed, and went back to where they came from. Nothing happened. So how do you blame the US for that? For me, the chicken has come home to roost. Time for blame game is over. Nigeria was handed over to President Tinubu intact. Whether in perfect condition or in feverish condition, Nigeria was given to him by Buhari, a member of his own party, co-founder of his own party. And if they are still blaming APC, is blaming APC. And yet APC is saying everybody should come and join them. And people are joining them like Mumu. Then you should know that something's wrong with our country. And that is why go on the internet and go and read comments under President Trump's speeches. Nigerians are practically begging from every part of the world that Nigeria should be invaded. Why would Nigerians want their country invaded? Because they seem helpless and hopeless. Anytime I watch my friend, the governor of Plateau State, whenever Plateau is bereaved, I always feel like crying for him. Frustrated, hopeless, helpless. Yet, they want all these people to come and join a party that has not been able to protect their properties, that has not been able to protect their lives. That's why my message to the president, let us stop this politicking. There is life outside power. There will be life after 2027, whether you win or you don't win. We fought for democracy. People died for this democracy. So let the president remember that and leave Nigeria as a democratic nation. Do not allow Nigeria to become Somalia or Southern Sudan or any of those places. That's my advice. God has given you what Chief Abubakar could not get. What MK Abiola could not get. Abiola won election. Yet, he did not become president. So what is all this madness of second time everywhere? No governor wants to do one time. No president wants to do one thing. President Jimmy Carter was one of the best American presidents. He had only one time. Even the almighty Donald Trump today was sent packing in 2020. Now he's back. President John Dramani Mahama in Ghana was sent packing in 2016. After 8 years, he's back. So, if you spend one term and Nigerians remember you for good, that is all that will profit you, sir.
Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, subscribe, hete.
Face TV. Muswobi.